Hey guys, how's it going everybody? My name is Blitzwinger, and ladies and gents, it is finally time. We have built 12 different variations of the Deadpool costume over the course of the last few days, and now it is time for an epic showcase featuring those character skins. So of course, now that we're done with another epic showcase, or we will be done with this video going live, I need a suggestion for what character we should build next. So for example, if you guys want to see, let's say, I don't know, 12 customs of, I'm trying to think of characters that have enough like variation, you know, in their costumes. Because I know, for example, some of the suggestions have been some character costumes for like, let's say Wonder Woman, or what was another one that was a really, Wonder Woman wasn't even mentioned that often. I'm trying to remember. There was one, oh, Spider-Man. That was the one, which I guess actually makes sense because Spider-Man at least does have a lot of costumes. Like you could go black suited Spider-Man, you could do several different armors, you could do Ultimate Spider-Man, you could do the movie Spider-Man costumes. There's homemade suits. So there really is a lot to it. So that might be the next character. Either way, though, I want to hear from you guys in terms of what character we should build next. Then, after we build 12 customs, or I don't know, let's say 5 to 10 customs. It has to be like a substantial number. It has to have at least 5 different costumes. So, oh, this was the one, Punisher. A few people were saying Punisher should be one of the upcoming characters. But when I thought about it, I was like, how many variations of Punisher could you do? Like, I know that there's now a Space Punisher as well, but okay, you do the Space Punisher outfit, you do what? Maybe like John Barenthal's costume from the Netflix show, and then maybe like Classic, and that's it. So there's not enough costumes there to warrant an epic showcase. So with that in mind, let's get rocking and rolling with today's showcase, which will be for Deadpool. So we kick things off with the classic comic book Deadpool. Now again, but guys, don't forget also at the end of the video, vote on which variation is your personal favorite out of the 12 that I designed here today. But here is, of course, classic Deadpool looking pretty stylish. I don't know why his bolt ability doesn't seem to activate, which is a little bit odd. He does have a cool lunge attack, so that's kind of neat. He's able to punch his way through a lot of goons, so that was a pretty cool ability to add for him. But then let's go on ahead and proceed to the next one, shall we? So from there, we transition right to the movie variation of Deadpool. So if you're a bigger fan of the movie costume, here it is. Here's our take on that movie costume. I guess that's a bit of a spoiler. Whoa! Okay, we'll get to that one in a little bit. But this is the movie costumed Deadpool, and I'm actually really glad with the way that this one turned out. Obviously, I went with the darker red colors for this costume just because I thought, based on the costume that we see in the film, I think it's a little bit more accurate to go with like a burgundy red for this particular look, and I think it turns out quite nice. He's got the dual-wielding katana, so that makes him look pretty cool, plus all the equipment, belts, and all that, which is something Deadpool's always known for, like whoa, can I talk? Way back when is what I wanted to say, when he was just designed initially. Oh my gosh, is it Rob Liefeld? I think it is, but for some reason I feel like that's the wrong name. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Rob Liefeld created him. And when the character was created, he was known for doing like a bunch of pouches on the character and including a bunch of pouches on characters where they were just like, it would be mostly a costume, but then it's just covered in pouches. So that's definitely something that we tried to replicate with this look, as well as, of course, trying to make him look a little bit more accurate to the film costume that we saw in Deadpool 1 and 2. So from there, let's transition to our first kind of goofy take on the character, and this is Cowboy Deadpool, which I know a lot of people were saying, hey, you should have given him the classic looking like pistol or whatever it was, like that Western kind of pistol that Lego manufactures. And I think that's probably a good call, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? It's Deadpool. He's got to have the katanas, so I felt like it would be somewhat appropriate. Unfortunately, because we included the mustache on this one, we couldn't actually include the sword holster on the back because it would cancel out the mustache. So that's a bit of a bummer, but overall, I'm still quite happy with the way that this one turned out. It's definitely one of the goofier costumes we have, but I think overall it turned out quite awesome. So from there, let's transition to our next Deadpool, which is actually Lady Deadpool. So I'm super duper happy that we actually included her. Why does her blast ability not work either? I am so confused. I swear it was working before, where they're like blasts. Okay, that's odd. Now, with Lady Deadpool, we obviously took a little bit of liberty with the costume, and we added a little bit of yellow elements to the costume, which usually she would not have, because most of the Deadpool costumes are always red and black. And I know people weren't huge fans of the fact that I included the yellow elements, but I actually think it was the best looking costume overall. I like the idea of having like the pouches again, and having like the zippers and all that, because again, it's kind of like that pouch-like design that Deadpool is known for. So that's what we were trying to nail. I really like the hairstyle. I think that was really cool. We definitely nailed that. And overall, I'm still pretty happy with the way that Lady Deadpool turned out. Now, from there, let's transition to Pirate Deadpool Org. And he's got a pirate sword, or dual-wielding pirate swords. This is probably one of my favorites for sure. I was going to say it's my favorite, but I'm not sure if I can make that call yet. But I really love the way that this one turned out. I think it's one of the best looking variations that we have built. I just am very happy with the way that this character has ended up looking. You've got Pirate Deadpool riding a pig. That's normal. Well, actually, in a Deadpool comic book, it totally would be normal. The typical shenanigans that Deadpool ends up in, that's pretty normal, I would say. That's beyond normal for Deadpool. So there he is, looking pretty stylish. It was really difficult to design this one because ideally you wanted to give him like this, I don't know what they're called. They're not kilts, but I know that they're also not skirts, so I don't know what to call them. But basically, whenever we've seen Pirate Deadpool or Pirate Pool, he's worn this like, I guess it is like just a pirate's outfit. I don't know what the specific name of that is because, again, I'm not a fashionista or anything like that, so I wouldn't know the specific details of something along those lines. But I was trying to pull that off using the like torn up printing there on the legs, and it kind of worked. So that was kind of probably the only part about this design that I wasn't a big fan of, but I still think it turned out all right. Now, from there, let's go on ahead and transition to the most peaceful of Deadpools, and that would be Zenpool. And I was very happy with the way that this one turned out. I think that this one is one of the more obscure Deadpool designs ever. And I remember I was introduced to this design. I think it was a Minimate 2-pack that I was sent for review, and I was really surprised by the fact that there was a character called Zenpool, and then I looked him up and learned about him and read up on the character, and basically it was kind of a peacekeeping version of Deadpool, like, which sounds ridiculous. I know what you're saying. It's like, wait, what? That's not Deadpool. How could that even be? That's like completely counterintuitive to the character of Deadpool. But he was very much kind of a meditating, very zen, peaceful, almost like a yogi type character. So I think that's a cool idea, and it's something that is super duper unexpected for Deadpool. We did include his staff as well, so I think that looks cool. And overall, I was very happy with the way that the design turned out. Some people said that he can hover or fly. Now, I personally am not certain about that, so I didn't add that ability, but maybe that would have been a good ability to add onto Zenpool as well. Now, let's transition from there to our next character, which is going to be our first color swap for the character of Deadpool, and this would be, of course, the one and only Pinkpool, aka the pink costumed Deadpool. There was a point in time in the comics where Deadpool, I don't remember what the name of the team was that he hired, but he essentially like outsourced being Deadpool, and he set up like his own Avengers, but he forced everybody to dress up like Deadpool, except they had to wear different colored costumes. So I thought that was a pretty hilarious idea, just because it's like, it's just obnoxious enough to where Deadpool would come up with something like that, where he's like, like imagine if Captain America or Tony Stark, let's say, when he started the Avengers, he would be like, and you know what? You all have to dress up like Iron Man, or you all have to dress up like Captain America. Definitely not something their characters would do. But Deadpool thought it was a great idea, and that's why he went with it. Now, of course, I also did try to make the characters unique as far as like weapon choices and things like that, just so that they would at least stand out in some way, shape, or form there. All right, let's maneuver on to the next one, and we're going to look at all the color swaps first. So here is Blue Pool, aka the blue costumed Deadpool. Very cool design. I went ahead and added the claw ability to him, just because a lot of people wanted to see the Wolverine Pool, I think is the name of it, which is like the crossover between Wolverine and Deadpool, which is a really cool design and something that I think I might actually still build in the future. Ooh, speaking of Wolverine, maybe that's our next character for Showcase, because we could definitely do a lot of customs for him. You could do like blue and yellow costume, brown and yellow costume, X-Force costume. You could do Old Man Logan Wolverine. You could do movie Wolverine. There's definitely some possibilities there. So let me know if that might be a character that you guys would personally like to see. So from there, let's transition to the next one, which is going to be Green Pool, aka the Green Deadpool, who is got what are those called? Not the hatchets. I forget the name of the weapon it was. Whoa, why does this one fly? Okay, that's weird. I actually don't know why I gave this Deadpool the ability to fly. That makes no sense. But okay, apparently this variation of Deadpool can fly. So there you go. I'm not sure why I did that, but I must have just forgotten to change it to a double jump. But nevertheless, a very cool design of Greenpool to see in action. Now, next up, we're going to transition back here to the X-Force costume of Deadpool, which was probably the most serious Deadpool, I think, as far as like... He was still comedic and still cracking jokes and things like that, but he was definitely a much more serious Wade Wilson than the one that we typically see. Like, a lot of the stuff we see nowadays with Deadpool is like super over the top and joke after joke after joke after joke after joke. And sometimes I feel like in the more recent comics with was it Gary Dugan or Duggan? I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's the writer on the comics. I think he's still the writer for Deadpool comics. But the most recent runs, they have had some cool, more like emotional moments with the character as well, and more serious stuff for the character, which I think is important in order to, like, you know, build some depth for the character outside of just being something where it's just like, oh, okay, well, he's just always clowning around. You need to have like a break and have something a little bit more serious so that the character feels more real and more like well-rounded. So that is definitely something that was present with this variation of Deadpool, which is the X-Force variation. So it was an absolute must-have. When I started building the Deadpool customs, I was like, we're going to definitely build an X-Force custom. And I think this one turned out pretty cool. We did give him like a different type of sword so that he would stand out and, again, be a little bit different to the other costumes that we have already seen. So now it's time to get goofy, folks, because you guys wanted to see the chicken costume Deadpool, which was a release. I think he would dress up like this in the comics at some point as well, but I think that this was primarily motivated by Funko Pop that was released. That was an Amazon exclusive, I believe. So you could only get it on Amazon. And it was basically Deadpool dressed up like a chicken. So that's exactly what we did. Now, that particular pop came with like a drumstick, but unfortunately there were no drumstick equipment items in the game. So we gave him some fish. So I think it turned out pretty cool. And why does his... Oh my gosh. I don't understand why all the blast abilities just seem to always deactivate. That's so confusing to me. But we did also give him a drone ability, so that's kind of cool. Look at that. It's a chicken controlling a penguin. That's like some birdception. And then last but certainly not least, guys, this one is intentionally able to fly because this is You're a Wizard, Deadpool. And this is Wizard Pool, aka Wizard Deadpool. We gave him this really epic looking staff and beard and hair, and I think he turned out pretty goofy and pretty funny. We also did give him this really cool force field ability in red and black, because of course you gotta maintain the classic colors plus branding. That's what Deadpool's known for. So overall, turned out pretty sweet. So with that in mind, ladies and gents, there you have it. That is the showcase for the entirety of all 12 customs that I have built over the last few days. You can check out the videos for the individual showcases in the playlist for the Deadpool showcases or the Deadpool customs. And of course, like I said, guys, down in the comment section below, let me know your favorite Deadpool variation that we built. And in addition to that, what character should we build next? What character should we build next that more specifically is not in the game ideally? But I will also say that a lot of you guys were asking, like, for example, what about Batman? Because he's in the game, but he only has the one costume. So maybe we could go on ahead and do a whole different showcase of Batman and build up Batman as like Zur-Ar Batman. I think that's how you pronounce that. That's that like weird yellow, purple and red kind of costume. Then maybe do like a Batman Beyond, maybe do a Justice League Batman. You know, there's tons of costumes for Batman. But again, the point is that it has to be a character that has had enough costumes to warrant doing an epic showcase for them. Like Superman had enough costumes, so that's why we did that particular showcase. So let me know down in the comment section below what character we should tackle next. And of course, in addition to that, guys, do not forget to have an absolutely fantastic day. I will hopefully catch you guys here next time. Peace out. See you later, alligators. Bye-bye, guys.